hats, as it were. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. And so I'm going to go ahead and just get us started here and ask the panelists to speak about Unitarian Universalism in broad strokes, which is going to be the first sort of main area that we want to talk about. I know for myself, it took me a long time to discover Unitarian Universalism. And I'm really intrigued by, and we are intrigued by what was being taught and understood in Unitarian Universalist spaces that you found yourselves in, or that you are currently in now. And how does that, what you've been taught and what you understood of Unitarian Universalism, how does that relate or not to what the rest of the world understands about Unitarian Universalism or witnesses from UUs? And don't hesitate to please weave, the hope is that you're going to weave some of your own story and your engagement of Unitarian Universalism into how you might respond to that.
Donte, it would actually be great to hear from you first.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. So I actually spent a great deal of time pondering this this afternoon as I say, a little Black boy from East St. Louis, Illinois, who was raised in a Midwestern and Southern Baptist tradition. When I became a seeker of different traditions outside of my own, I actually discovered Unitarian Universalism early on my journey in the early 2000s. But there are two things that struck me about what I observed. Well, three things. One was I was really excited about the plurality and the space for difference and multiplicity and otherness. And I thought, this is what feels right for me. And that was really exciting. But there were two things that concerned me. There seemed to be this assumption about reason and mind over body. And again, as a good Midwestern Black Baptist-Costal, so much of our spiritual journey is also embodied. Our worship is embodied. The way in which we share in community is very bodily. And so a notion of a tradition that felt more concerned with cerebralness, and this coming from a nerd, over bodily expression seemed a bit standoffish and foreboding to me.
Sure. I come to Unitarian Universalism by way of vocation. I first learned late in life about Unitarian Universalism when helping some friends with a wedding. And they had their wedding out at Camp de Benaville Pines, which is in Southern California. Mm-hmm. That was sort of my first entree to Unitarian Universalism. And I was working in a Methodist church at the time and did not like it. And so I was looking for a way out. And so that's sort of what my introduction to Unitarian Universalism was. And I've been here ever since. As you, Michael, and Takia both know, I say it all the time, I am not a Unitarian Universalist. I believe in the potential for Unitarian Universalism. I believe in the hope for Unitarian Universalism. I do not believe Unitarian Universalism is yet ready for me and my expression of Blackness, my expression of faith, my expression of personhood in a lot of ways. And I'm patiently waiting for Unitarian Universalism to be ready. And when it is, then Unitarian Universalism and I can have a conversation about that. In the meantime, I sort of watch actively from the sidelines and am free to express what liberal religion, what liberal faith means to me, without having to be bound by the confines of Unitarian Universalism and its history and its baggage, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. That's real. That's real. Thank you, DeReau. It seems to make good sense to move to you, Ian, based on some of the things that you have shared. I think it'd be great for you to follow up.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for the segue from DeReau, because I am not patiently waiting on UU to get their stuff together. I am right now actively demanding that they be ready for me right now in my expressions of Blackness, queerness, multi-religiosity, subversive leadership, all the things, they have to be ready now. And one of the ways that I am calling the institution to be ready is by talking to the professors at this institution, by talking to the president, engaging with student body to have more Black UU theology here in person being taught, particularly just as of fall of 2018, I took a UU history course, and all of the required reading material for this graduate level UU course was all written or edited by white cisgender men. I find that deeply problematic to be at a radically progressive Unitarian Universalist identity school for all of the materials to be encased in this white shell. Because there were some authors of color, some Black people who had texts and videos that were in this, but it wasn't good enough to me that it was encased in like other white books or films that were edited, directed primarily by white men. So